Basic HVAC equipment. We have the refrigeration cycle. This is a pH diagram. The refrigeration cycle, it has 4 components: evaporator, then a compressor, increase the pressure, then a condenser which reject the heat, then expansion device again to reduce the pressure, and back again to the evaporator. Of course, there is a refrigerant passing through this cycle. Those are the 4 components: compressor, condenser, evaporator, and expansion valve. This is the shape of compressor, the expansion valve. Both evaporator and condensers are heat exchangers. In the actual equipment, we add a fan here to enhance the evaporation. We add a fan here to enhance the condenser, and this condenser can be even water cooled instead of fan and to be air cooled. Okay, this is the simple or the simplest DX system. This is what we have in our homes. This is the indoor unit, this is the outdoor unit. Okay, let's see the component of refrigeration cycle here. The condensing unit, which is this one, it has the compressor and condensing coil plus some other items. However, the main idea here for the refrigeration cycle, it's the compressor and condensing coil. Regardless the filters or the fan or the control unit, we have the compressor, the condensing coil, then we have the evaporator at the indoor unit, and this is the evaporator. Also, the heat transfer is enhanced via utilizing a blower or a fan. We can add filter, we can add whatever we want. However, the main idea here, it's only the evaporator. Then the expansion device, it can be located at the condensing unit or at the evaporator unit. It's small and it's not impacting the size of our equipment. Okay, these two units, if they are combined together, it will be a window type. And if it's very big, it will be a package unit or rooftop unit, and we will see this shortly. This is the window type. Again, it's same component. This is the wall. This is the wall. This is indoor. This is outdoor. Here at the outdoor, this is the condensing unit, which has the compressor condenser. This is the condenser coil, expansion valve, and the indoor we have the evaporator coil, and the heat is handled by a blower. This is the compressor. It's missing the air distribution side. Air distribution is not part of the refrigeration cycle, but it's required, of course, for the HVAC system. In that case, this is called package unit. Again, this is the evaporator. It can be small one distributing the air. It can be any of these, and this is fan coil unit, or it can be a large one, which is air handling unit. Here, as you can see, you can find many components as blower or filters. Also, you can see heaters or humidifier or any other additional item. The same for the fan, blowers or controllers and drain pans and control items. However, this is not part of the refrigeration cycle. We have here only the evaporator. Okay, this is for the evaporator. What if we have the compressor and condenser, and it will be a condensing unit? This is a condensing unit. It has many shapes. It can be small. This condensing unit, it has the compressor and condenser. It can be small, slightly larger. It can be large, similar to these ones. Then the condensing unit, it can be connected to a large equipment as air handling unit, or a small equipment as fan coil units or indoor units. This is the condensing unit connected to one air handling unit, and this air handling unit is double deck. It doesn't matter, single or double, small equipment or large equipment. At the end, this equipment is distributing the air to the spaces. Again, this is the continuation to the central split DX system. This is the condensing unit. It can be connected to the indoor unit. This indoor unit can be here horizontal, or it can be vertical. This is the condensing unit, and this is the indoor unit distributing the air via air ducts. And this is the distributing air equipment, air handling unit. This is a condensing unit. It can be connected to air handling unit. This air handling unit can be horizontal or vertical. It doesn't matter. At the end, this is the one distributing the air. And this equipment, it has the evaporator, cooling coil, which is the evaporator and part of, this is the evaporator coil and part of the refrigeration cycle. This is the condensing unit. It can be connected to 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever number of indoor units. We have seen before the window unit. The window unit, we said it's combining the evaporator plus the condensing unit. This is the smallest shape or version, as we can see, for package unit. The package unit is the same idea, but instead of small evaporator unit, we have big evaporator unit, which is air handling unit attached to a condensing unit. This part is air handling unit, and this is the evaporator, and this part is condensing unit, which it has the condenser, which is air cooled by these fans, and it has the compressor inside. This package unit can be horizontal or it can be vertical. It doesn't matter. The same idea. Small comparison between the air handling unit and rooftop unit. Air handling unit and the rooftop unit, actually it's same as air handling unit but with condensing unit attached to it. And this is the condensing unit, and this is the part for distributing the air. It can be very big or it can be small. DX versus chilled water. As we have seen, this is the condensing unit, has the compressor and condenser, and it's part of evaporator. It's located at the air handling unit itself. That's why to complete the refrigeration cycle, the refrigerant is passing through the pipes or the tubes here from the condensing unit to the air handling unit or fan coil unit. But if this evaporator is located inside this equipment, this outdoor equipment here, it will be chiller, compressor, condenser, evaporator, and the evaporator here, it will be shell and tube heat exchanger for the evaporator and exchange the heat between the refrigerant and the water. Therefore, the chiller produces chilled water. This chilled water go to the air handling unit and it cools the air via the cooling coil here. Therefore, this air handling unit has a cooling coil and this has a cooling coil, but this cooling coil is DX and this cooling coil is chilled water. This cooling coil is part of the refrigeration cycle. This cooling coil, it's not part of the refrigeration cycle, but the same function for the air handling unit. And of course, the shape of coil itself, it's different, but I added here the same image just to deliver the message that they are the same function, air handling unit or air distribution device, but it's different coil and it's different cooling medium here inside the pipes. This is the chiller. This is a condenser. This condenser can be cooled by fans or it can be cooled by water. So this is cooled by air. That's why it has to be located at the ambient outside. This type of chillers is water cooled and it's cooled by water. This water is cooled by a cooling tower. That's why this is the water cooled chiller. It has two heat exchangers, two shell and tube heat exchanger. One heat exchanger, it exchanges the heat between the refrigerant and the cooling water, which will be chilled going to the air handling unit and fan coil unit, and the other heat exchanger, it exchanges the heat between the same refrigerant and the cooling water, which is cooled by the cooling tower. This is a quick recap to see all the equipment types. We have here chiller and air handling unit. This is chilled water air handling unit. Both are connected via pipes, and chilled water is running inside the pipes. Here this is water cooled chillers, and this is air handling unit connected together via chilled water pipes also, but this condenser of a chiller here is cooled by water via the cooling tower. And this is package unit, which has the air handling unit and condensing unit, and it distributes the air to the spaces. The air handling unit, it distributes the air to the spaces, similar for this air handling unit. I hope now you have the overall vision of all the equipment that we have.